Hi, how are you out there? I'm in traffic and I'm trying to distract myself because I'm so low on gas right now, and hoping that I can make it to the first exit and then find a gas station. So I thought, I was just trying to entertain myself and was looking at an email that was talking about spirit guides, and then sometimes certain spirits that I've gotten a chance to meet over the years, they'll pop into my mind, and and then I thought about how if I was explaining to someone about that, how would I go about explaining that? This is Harvey. Hi, Harvey. Are you enjoying the air? It's hot out today. It's 82, and my air conditioning is deciding it's having a hard time working. So, anyways, okay. So I thought it would be kind of fun to share about me and my journey, some of my journey about what got me interested in wanting to connect with spirits. Um, Part of it is my interest in connecting with humans, whether they're, human spirits, whether they're in physical form or non-physical form, in a good way, with healthy psychology. And making a friend or helping in some way, or passing along helpful information to them, or if you connect with higher energy beings, they can help you too. It's like a reciprocity. There's a helping both ways, or it's fun, or they'll teach you stuff about the area that you're in, or maybe you're able to help that spirit to know that there's more to go, there's more to go on your journey, and that you can carry on, and that your family is super excited for you to come back over to the other side. And so I, like getting to help however I can, and I've done my own research and studying and learning how to connect to human spirits, human, beings who are alive or in spirit, and have a good experience. That's what I like to do. And so I was thinking about that, and I thought about a spirit, a non-physical person that I got to meet um, when I was in Deerfield, Massachusetts, back in, it's either in 2017 or 2018. And I was thinking about some others that I've gotten to meet along the way. And I thought about what led me to having like a compassion and a wanting to help a spirit who might be not feeling comfortable with crossing into the light because of something that they were taught here in their life about what might happen if they cross into the light. Or there's also, me getting to connect with spirits that have crossed into the light, but they like coming back to visit their house or the land. They're at a higher level of awareness. They are more like spirit guides or spirit helpers. And I was thinking about that. And so back in 2006, I went to a paranormal convention where we all met at this historic lodge, hotel that at one time was a hunting lodge, and at different floors there were different things that went on. I think the top floor was an orphanage at some point, and etc. And so while we were there, we had where a bunch of us went into one of the hotel rooms where I guess there's been activity there, and a medium was connecting to a woman that took her own life, and she hung out in the bathroom. She I don't know what she did exactly. I don't remember all the details, but something with the bathtub, like with drowning or something that she did to herself in the bathtub to end her own life. And because of what was going on in her life, where I think she had a baby, at that time, back, I think this was in the 1800s, where she had a baby that was considered, how do you say it, illegitimate, and that she was with a married man, and these sorts of, like, something like that. And so she felt really bad about herself. And so in her teachings or the messages that she heard was that she was a bad person, and that you're taught, these teachings, these religious teachings, that you're going to go to hell, or that you're going to be judged, or, because of these sins that you did. And so they're afraid to go into the light because they're afraid that they will be punished. And so I thought that was really sad, that that's what she thought. And so she was, and so the medium, I don't know if that medium helped her to move on. She didn't talk about it at all. It was just seeming to be more of sort of entertaining us people about that there was a spirit in the bathroom and her story. So that was back in 2006, and I've spent a lot of years since then on my own psychic development, inner senses development, mediumship development, learning metaphysics and understanding energy, and my different ways that I've gotten to connect with spirits over the years. And so I'm sitting here in traffic, and I thought about a specific spirit that I got to meet in 2018, 2017. And I'm not sure. Basically it was Andrew Borden. And Andrew Borden is the dad, or was the dad, of Lizzie Borden. And he made his presence known to me by basically, we were in Lizzie's room, and she was talking about him and the care that he took on creating the house and the detail that he made for his daughter's rooms, and the details of the house in general. And so we're in Lizzie's room, and she's talking about that the crown molding is original. And I had been thinking about this house since I was a little kid. I was like, wow, this nothing, not about what happened to him and his wife and who may have done it or not. It was just about the interest in, like, these historic homes, and what was life like back in 1892, and what were people doing, and what were people like, that kind of thing was what was going on in my mind. And so here I was in the house, looking around, and like, wow, this house is amazing. And then in her room, and looking up at the crown molding, and I was just in amazement that I was there. And it was just I was just really in a good, headspace and feeling good. And then all of a sudden, he sort of just, it was like as if he had been in a different part of the house. And it's hard to explain. I didn't literally see him, but I knew that he came through the wall to then be with me, to be there. And he was very appreciative of me appreciating the house and appreciating like the crown molding and the fact that that's what I was there for, and that's what I was focusing on. And it was like we became friends. And so in my interest of, that day with that medium where she was telling us about this particular female spirit and truly helping them, truly connecting with them in a human and human psychology healthy way, where you're connecting in a good way with another person, another being. And so I've spent years of my life studying and applying teachings of healthy psychology, healthy relationship dynamics, and connecting in a positive way, and how to what to do when you're coming upon someone who's maybe in their way is still wounded or unaware of themselves, or early in their own healing, and all in between. And so I was thinking about how it's been paying off for me to learn all these healthy dynamics so that I can be of help or to a spirit and help them know that, you have more to go. And, like I was saying earlier, and then they feel inspired, and then they cross into the light. And the recent one is I was going to spend some time with a woman who's a shaman, and she wanted to show me her land, and she wanted to see if I could find a vortex that is on her land. And so she had me walking around on the land. And when I first got there, we were in her house, and she started picking up on someone that she's this female person that she said is around me. And I was like, I don't know who it might be. And then all of a sudden, this image, this like seeing sort of a person, like their head, like their hair and their head, and then a name popped into my head. And I asked, oh, is it somebody named Kathy? And then, yes. And then, was it somebody that was in this women's group that I was in and that I had given her a ride? Yes. And so she has been with me, knowing that at some point that I could help her. And so here it was, this opportunity for me and the shaman to both do our part and help her be ready and comfortable with going into the light. And so it was a really, I don't know, special experience, and to be able to do that. So that is some stuff about me that I wanted to share when I share my videos, some of my background about me, with the interest in, my paranormal, spiritual, and mystical experiences, that when you learn about some of these understandings of spirit and how to connect, that you get to really connect with, people from all sorts of time frames. I mean, I have had gotten to connect with people from thousands of years ago on my journeys around the United States with the where the ancient people lived, or they did their ceremony, you know, at Chaco Canyon, or, you know, in some land in Upper Peninsula. You know, I've had objects left for me, sacred ceremonial plants left for me, a rock left appearing, and I really appreciate it. And it's neat to be able to, it's almost like time traveling. You get to connect with these people from different time frames, and whether it's from thousands of years ago or from a couple months ago, or, you know, 10 years ago or whatever. It's something I appreciate getting to do. I don't have all the answers. I don't, you know, but when the time is right and the right experience happens and I'm able to help, or that I'm helped. I've had where I've been helped by spirit, where I magically made it to the gas station on like 0 gas, or I was protected when I was a passenger in a car, and we were rear-ended, and I felt like a sort of this invisible cushioning. I saw it in my mind's eye, like an extra cushioning to help with shock absorbing in the micro moments that the car was hitting into the back of the truck that I was in. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share some, you know, more about me as you're listening to my different stories, and you know, I made it to the gas station, by the way. Yay! Oh my gosh, and I'm like on such 0 gas right now, so thankful. And yeah, so that's some of me rambling. So have a great day, everybody. We'd love to hear your stories, or if you relate, or if you want to hear other experiences, or if you want me to share something specific, or in more detail about something I've said before in a different video or whatever, let me know. Okay, bye.